Hello.
Totally missed the whole countdown, but I mean, we're going right into it. Welcome to Family Matters.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. God bless the Wi-Fi connection in Orange Beach, Alabama. But anyway, Kevin Peterson, I'm Jay Staples. We do this every week to the best of our ability, week-ish. Family Matters was sponsored by the one and only Jaywalker. What is all that?
Bert's with us.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You can't really see it because he is. Yeah, he's. I just want everyone to know he's watching.
So you're in Colorado, I take it.
I am in Carbondale, Colorado, at Jaywalker World Headquarters. You know.
So I'm sure I've asked you this, but like I gotta stand up. You have 3 dogs, right?
We have 3 dogs. Yes.
Why does Bert always get to travel?
That's a great question. So Bert just turned 10 years old. And when we got him in 2016 and we were living in Denver, we had 2 other dogs that were getting older. And neither of them could come to the office with me. That's back in the day when I was going to a private practice office every day for 5 hours. So when we got Bert, I told my wife, he's coming to work with me and we're gonna hit it right away. And so he did, and he has the perfect temperament. I mean, look, that's how he is when there's people here too. We just went through a full round of meetings this morning, and he just goes from lap to lap or finds a place to chill and snuggle, and he's all good. Blanche and Stella do not do that. They are more active participants in the process, and I've tried to bring them to therapy, and it just doesn't work. I mean, they're wonderful. When we're at home in Florida, and I'll show it to you next time when we're in Florida, I have a dog bed right here, and Stella's in the dog bed the entire time. Every time we record, Stella's in the room with us.
Really?
Because she's deaf. She was born deaf in Decatur, Alabama. She's a COVID puppy, pandemic puppy. And so because she's deaf, she has to physically see you. And so she always, wherever I go, she goes exactly there with me and sits with me and then just falls asleep. But, and then when I leave the house, she falls apart.
Really?
And, oh yeah, my wife sends me pictures when I come here of her like staring out the window, and it just breaks my heart. I'm like, don't send those to me. She's like, "Where's Dad?"
She's not attached to your wife?
Yeah, she's totally attached to Amy, which is hilarious because by the way, we're those people that all 3 dogs are in the bed.
I didn't doubt that for.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, when I first met my wife, I was like, no dogs in the bed. And she's like, good luck with that.
I've been to your house. I know those dogs run it. I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Stella literally sleeps on her right here, physically at night. She won't sleep on me. She sleeps on Amy. And then when she wakes up, she's like, Dad. And then like when my wife, she goes on these, early morning walks on the beach, and my wife comes over and gives me a kiss to say goodbye. And Stella goes berserk. She's like, don't touch my man. That's my man. And she starts barking and jumping and screaming. And my wife's like, he's my husband. It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. But that's the answer of why Bert travels. Stella would never be able to sit in a crate under the seat. And Blanche used to, but it's just not their temperament. They're much more, typical Boston Terrier spazzes. Yeah.
I just always thought you liked Bert more, but I guess that's not the case.
I love all my children the same.
Yeah. You say that now, but Bert, whatever. But
yeah.
Anyway, so we do this. Send in your questions, ease fears, ease anxieties. Try to stump Kevin, but
yep.
Yeah, we got some. Let's just get right into it.
What do you got?
Dogs. Maybe Bert knows the answer. But we get a lot of. I think in general we should any kind of topic around when the loved one has said no to treatment, maybe no to an intervention, no to help, whatever is kind of out there in the real world and families. Just kind of, I think we need to do a better job of of educating families when there's that uncertainty of loved one. But this one in particular, I think, is a common question. So we've basically they've set the boundaries. They've cut off no financial assistance, no help of any sort. We're not buying my son a car. Not no car insurance, no phone. The question is, so as far as communication, can we
Sure.
can we talk to the son? What
Yeah.
do you suggest when in the form of the communication?
That's a great question. I mean, I get that all the time, right? Is that when we set the hard boundaries, we're sticking to our boundaries, but he's calling. Oh, yeah, by all means, talk to him, say hi. But remember, in every single call, every single conversation, are you ready to go to treatment? Because those calls are probably going to start off with, oh, I miss you. I love you. Everything's great. And then they're going to turn into, why aren't you paying my bills? Why aren't you helping me? You don't love me. And so you just have to be clear. Oh, yeah. Hey, how's it going? It's nice to hear from you. I'm glad you're doing okay. Love you. Hey, by the way, we're whenever you're ready to go to treatment, we're here for you. The offer still stands. And that never changes. But and our boundaries never change. So yeah, by all means, you don't have to stop communicating. Now, that doesn't mean you have to take abuse. So if they're being rude or disrespectful or aggressive, anything along those lines, absolutely not. I would say no, thank you.
That's what I was going to add, because I mean, there's manipulation, there's aggressiveness, whatever the form of it. I always warn families, like, watch out for oh, it's so tough out here. Oh, like, the sideways comments about not having a phone or whatever it may be. Like, just a reminder, this is his choice, but the aggressiveness, make sure the boundaries. I'm going to have to excuse myself in this conversation. We'll talk about this later when you're level-headed, whatever it may be. But yeah, that's, don't take the abuse. I'm glad you pointed that out, because their loss of control, they're uncomfortable, and they still want to bring you down with them. So.
Well, and you and I both know that alcoholics and addicts are expert manipulators. So they're not stupid. They're going to start the conversation with, "Oh, hey, I'm good. Everything's great. Blah blah blah," and then sort of get a foot in the door, and then the other shoe's going to drop, and it's going to be like, this is bullshit. I can't believe you do that. You don't love me. And I'm like, oh, okay, nice talking to you. Try again next week.
They're like football coaches. Like, we as addicts in an addictive mind frame, we review the tape. We know, like, I would call, I would mention something about, I saw like this sermon on YouTube or something, because I knew that would connect with my mom. And, that always was worth like $20 or something. But, unfortunately, I got sober during this app phase. And I think all these direct apps and stuff would have helped me out considerably, just so point of reference. But I would I'd swing by the house, and there'd be $20 in the mailbox I could pick up, and they didn't even want to see me, but I always knew. So we know the game tape. We know what to say to certain people. We know how to split family members. We know how to rile family members up. So we have the game tape on them. So
Oh yeah. Well, that's, by the way, not to beat a dead horse, but that was the other thing I was thinking of. The other thing that addicts and alcoholics are really good at is calling and talking to one person, knowing whether or not it's going to be filtered back into the family, and it'll create dissension. Well, why is he calling her and not calling me? And we do that on purpose. Children of chaos,
The other thing that I was reminded, like, we can go to the opposite. Like, the communication is one thing, but how much time and energy are families putting into it? Because I'm hearing more and more, especially moms, because moms are moms. I love my mom. I was always a mama's boy, but
me too.
They're turning almost into full-time detective, private investigator. Speaking of apps, they got all these. They know where they're at. They know where they're doing. They're getting inside information from Bob at the bar or something like that. And so what I always point out is, what's the rest of your family like? you're full-time detective PI working on the one person that's not an active member of your family. What's your relationship with your husband? With other kids? I think that's people, they don't realize how much time and energy they're dedicating to kind of playing detective.
Yeah, absolutely. At the cost of their marriage, at the cost of the relationship with other children, at the cost of their own personal welfare, Yeah. Yep. All right.
Well, this is we're open about it. I mean, we obviously talk about the 12 steps, and we're both AA guys.
Yeah.
Stay proud. We won't wear the shirt, anonymity, but we're AA guys.
Oh yeah.
So once again, said Kevin, like I'm not even here, but stance on other kind of recovery, groups. This one is particular, Smart Recovery. They said there's, Smart Recovery has some kind of 4-point foundation or, whatever. Doesn't do the 12 steps. Should I be worried? I mean, is a recovery group, or do you highly suggest only the 12 steps?
Well, Jay, now that we're officially sponsored by Jaywalker,
yes.
I'll tell you my answer. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to refer you to is this person too, and I'm going to, we should probably find a place where we can put it. In 2020, there was a study done by Stanford University's addiction studies program by Dr. Anna Lemke, who wrote Dopamine Nation, which is considered required reading in my people. And she did a really fascinating study. And the study was, what's the most effective way to get to sobriety? Is it, craft, smart? Is it AA? Is it church? Is it therapy? Is it psychiatry? Is it health and fitness? Which one is it? And this is just straight statistics and straight math. It was 12 steps up here, everything else down here. And so that's just the math of it, okay? And then I would say all those other things, health and fitness, spirituality, therapy, medication, those are all part of a good sober lifestyle. And if craft or smart turns you on and you like it and it works, more power to you. I mean, that's my belief is whatever works for you works. And that's where the deal is. I have two conditions. You have to be completely abstinent and you have to change the way you live and treat people. If those two things are happening because you're going to the gym or doing yoga or eating healthy or going to Smart or church, great. As long as it's sustained. Now, personally, I have not seen craft or smart work long term. I think a lot of times people end up in those places because they think, well, there's the misconception that AA in the 12-step world is religious, right? And that's where those sort of the alternative came from. And then there's going to be the whole argument, well, it was started by a bunch of old white Christian men. I'm like, yeah, sure. And one of the things they said is, by no means is this one side. We are open to all and everyone. And I get the resistance. I get the resistance. I get the concept. I get the cultural concept. I completely understand. I would also tell you, it's what works. It's what works for me. And there was a fascinating article a couple of years back in the New York Times. It was an opinion, and it was a woman taking that on and saying, because someone had written, like, it was one of those people that wrote an article in the Atlantic about, here's all the terrible things about AA. It's full of predators. Oh my God. And she said, you're right. Everything you said is 100% right. No questions asked. And it just might be the thing that saves your life. And it turns out that all those shady people go to church, they go to the gym, they go to yoga, they go to craft, they go to Smart, they go to all those other places. So shady people are everywhere. And you just have to learn to navigate it. And this woman said, look, I've been sober 35 years. That's what saved my life. And are there pitfalls or negative sides of 12-step recovery? Absolutely. No questions asked. I would also say people that are good 12-step members can acknowledge that and say, oh yeah, no, we're not the end all be all. We're just, like this is the start, and I would tell you that everyone who has struggles with drugs and alcohol should go to AA, and then they should go to therapy. I mean, you don't live our style of life without needing therapy, and that's just kind of the long answer to a very good question. And let me sort of review my answer is whatever works for you, that's great. What's worked for me for 35 years is AA, 12 steps. I've never seen personally the other stuff work long term. There's my answer. And by the way, since we're sponsored by Jaywalker, we are a 12-step facility.
Well, ChatGPT has smart equals self-empowered, science-based, present-focused, and 12-step as a spiritual framework, surrender-based, lifelong identity. So I don't know.
You send that to me?
What's that?
Send that to me.
The ChatGPT? Yeah.
Yeah, that result. Yeah.
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 I will say this, and I won't go too far into it. I was obviously, 5-6 years. I don't know exactly when it was, but I think I found a deeper appreciation when I started going deeper into Carl Jung and kind of the letter he wrote to Bill W. Kind of someone shared it in a meeting, and alerts went up, and so I looked up that letter, and then I really got deep into this Carl Jung in general. And when you kind of just put the two together and kind of his philosophy about this, spiritual thirst and purpose, and then the 12 steps, I was already hooked. So it was easy to hook me already. But I think the appreciation for Carl Jung kind of stepped it to another level. So that's all.
Well, and there's a great book called The War of the Gods and Addiction that is a study of the correspondence between Carl Jung and Bill Wilson. And,
really?
And it is,
what's it called?
Oh yeah, The War of the Gods in Addiction. And it's phenomenal. It's absolutely wonderful. And I agree. I mean, Carl Jung's been, so much of Jungian beliefs is that we all have a dark side, and we all have a shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah, we all have it, and you have to learn to embrace it, and you have to learn to understand that that's part of the drill, and it's about you, and your sobriety and your engagement of understanding, everything you do is either to the light or to the shadow, and working within that framework and that structure. It's great. It's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to check that out. I didn't, that's weird that, that I've not heard about it. I thought I did a pretty good job, but I will say much what your kind of final about therapy and AA, the deeper I went into Carl Jung, the shadow and kind of all this, it led me to get back into therapy. So lo and behold, like amazing what things happen. So it's, I think in general, are there any topics? I mean, so here, let me ask you, let's go this. And because I'm shocked, and I remember a few questions kind of trickle in around family programming within the treatment. And I'll just make a blanket statement. I don't necessarily know if there's more or less, but there are treatment facilities out there that are operating without a family kind of involvement, or maybe kind of a alumni and kind of family Zoom call on Wednesday night or something like that.
Of course
you obviously are work Jaywalker, and we can make it Jaywalker because we love them to pieces. But like, let's talk. I want Kevin's version of the importance of family involvement within the treatment modality.
How much time do we have?
But I'm still shocked that there's treatment centers out there that are not.
Well, and there's. And Jaywalker,
I will say this. Kevin doesn't have to say it. Jaywalker is neat. I mean, probably the most in-depth family programming when you talk about everything involved. And I'm not their
No,
sponsor.
I get it.
It's rare that a treatment facility is that dedicated to. It's not just Kevin and that's it. There's staff everywhere. So.
Oh yeah, no, we have a nice team. Here's the philosophy that I had in my private practice and the books that I wrote and the system that I created that has transcended into Jaywalker. And actually it was always part of Jaywalker because we had an arrangement where I sent clients to them and then they would call me and be like, hey, we got this family, and we'd like to send them to you and we'll even pay for it. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And so here's the thing. I'm gonna figure out kind of like the more succinct way to get to this is the most successful way to help someone in your family to achieve sobriety or any kind of change. Let's be honest, any kind, health and fitness, mental health, financial fitness, is to be the change yourself. So if you have a family system, right, and the family system says to Kevin, that 27-year-old Kevin, we love you, but we are no longer going to tolerate your drunken actions and hijinks and your addicted behavior and the constant emotional roller coaster and the constant money problem. We're not going to do that anymore. And we love you, but we're going to keep you over here until this gets changed. And if you want help changing that, we will find you that help. And we actually have somebody right here waiting for you. So what had happened in that system is that the system changed. And if I wanted to be part of the system, I had to change as well. Now, the hard part was the system holding their boundaries. But to me, that is the essence of everything we do, is helping people understand that getting the family system to change their position on what's going on and why is the most effective way to help the individual. And I know that seems totally ass backwards. I mean, I get it. I completely get it. But that really is the most successful model when it comes to this. And by the way, we're starting to keep track of data. So I'll be able to do a study soon. But that really is the case. And this is here's where it spawned from, Jay, back to our AA conversation previously. Every single person I know that has any kind of significant time in Alcoholics Anonymous or NA or CA or whatever, they will all tell you the exact same thing. When the people around me drew the line and held it, that's when I started paying attention. When I knew that the game was over, that's when I was like, oh, okay, time to go. And that really is that's what you'll hear over and over and over again. And there's no substitute for that, and I don't even have time. There's so many layers to that conversation, but that's the quick version. Is that why is it important? Because we want to invest in people's individual sobriety and longevity. The reason why we're a 9-month program is because people that stay engaged with us for 9 months to a year stay sober. And that's why we're doing this. So how does the family best support that? By changing the way they're engaging in the process. That's really what it comes down to.
Family recovery, doing your own work, along those same lines. I had a guy last night in a meeting down here. He said something. He said it a lot better because it hit my soul. But he was like, I remember trying to go. I was still in active addiction, and it was almost like my parents and family hadn't moved. They stayed in the same house, but they moved and left me without, they changed. They started doing their own work. They got into therapy, whatever. I'm filling in the blanks. He didn't share all that.
Yeah.
But you get the point. It goes back to, doing your own work. Not, the client is doing their own work. The family's doing, family recovery it changes everything. If the family changes, success skyrockets. No question about it. And it doesn't hinge on whether or not Johnny stays sober or not. They still get better. So
Yep. I would say the family moved and they changed the locks.
that's he did say something along those lines.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever he said, I kind of like fainted, like I was, anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right, sir. You keep doing the family program up there in Colorado. I'm not allowing you to clock out because I'm sure you're needed, but
I'm just getting started. Yeah.
I'll see you next week.
My brother, I look forward to it. You